Welcome back, everyone, to Finally Plays the Rune-keeper, where we will have the exchange between Mazag and Bori.
Will you not speak with Akador?
Will you speak with Akador? I know that Broin will want to be a part of this final stage of the mission, and Akador must not let his anger blind him to the dangers of haste.
Tensions run high among the remaining elves of the Hidden God. One of their number slain, the other dying from a deadly poison. And now the dwarf Broin has disappeared on the eve of the journey's end.
What is the meaning of this, Pine Stone? While you were recalling the scouts on the perimeter of Dol Guldur, the dwarf Broin vanished from Ostgalath. He told no one where he was going, and right on the eve of the exchange of Mazag for his kin. You had spoken for him, Pinestone. You failed to speak of his cowardice. Do all dwarves abandon their companions when the road turns treacherous? The dwarf is not coming back. We do not know that, Arkador. But it is not difficult to see. We came here for him, but only our friends have died or are dying. Arkador! No, Kukuran, I will not be silent. Why should he hold his tongue? He speaks the truth. My kind have nothing but hatred for the dwarves. But the elves, there was something else. There was fear. My father spoke of elves proud and terrible, as foes to be feared. Where are they now? Where are they now? You stand before you. Your words are empty, prisoner. No. I was the whim of dwarves that brought you here, and they have abandoned you. That is not so, Mazag. Quell your speech, or I will quell it for you. But he is wrong. Not wrong, Kozran. Look at Broin. Where is he? Latu Gaza. Broin! The dwarf returns. There is little time to explain, Pinestone, so I must be quick. After you gave the ladris to Mazag, and the more I dwelled upon it, the more I came to regret that necessity. If only another dose could be made. I spoke with the elf Bavrasian atop the great tower of Ostgalath, and she said that more unmarked venom sacs of the Sartwell might be found with time, but that the Saraglass flower is so rare that finding another one would be impossible. The conditions for such a flower to grow are so specific that only if the growing season could be slowed might such a flower still be found. I walked through the forest for many hours, heading north, then passed into the lands beyond to reach the Golden Host. I walked and walked and walked, and just as I was about to turn back in defeat, I beheld a grave mound upon the tangled undergrowth. A stream flowed by its side, and the droplets of the water splashed atop the mound, where bursting forth grew a single flower. Still in season. With this second Saraglass flower and another unmarked venom sac, another dose of ladris might be made. And here it is. You need to drink this, Asuriel. Look, already Asuriel's strength returns. This Ladris is working to fight off the Gringel poison. I do not know what to say. While I railed at unjust fate, the dwarf combed the forest for many miles to find a way to save Asuriel. Should have been me. I cannot believe I was beginning to listen to the words of Mazag. Now there are no delays. We will go to the gates and exchange Mazag for the prisoners, and be done with him at last. And here we are at the gates of Dol Guldur. Over here, Pinestone. I'm sorry. Give me just a moment. I walked many miles to the north in search for the Seriglus flower, and though I have my father's hardiness, it was still a most taxing journey. That it ended in success, and that Asuriel will recover from the Gwygal poison was enough for me to give me further strength, but... One moment, friend. I will have my breath in a moment. It is most wrong about the dwarf Broin. I was most wrong about the dwarf Broin. I have come to regret my words about him, and perhaps about all dwarves. To make such a seemingly futile journey in search for the one thing that might save someone he barely knows, someone not even his own race. He showed a fortitude that I thought only elves could possess, and he did it with much less complaining than I have done. But look at him. His journey north into the far reaches of Mirkwood has taken a toll even for his stout form. He needs to rest. The guards at the gate ahead will see his exhaustion as weakness, and we cannot afford that. Will you ask him to remain here for such a way to spare his feelings? He has proven himself to me and to the others for the rest of time. He has no need to accompany us for the rest of the way. He helped Asuriel, and now I wish to help him save his cousin and the rest of the dwarves. I do not want the guards at the gate to think that we are weak, Pinestone. They would not think so if they knew the distance I traveled, and in so short a time. I wonder if that will be the main verse of the glorious tale of Broin the Mighty, after all. It did not seem so glorious when I was hurrying through the dark, tripping over stones and treacherous roots, searching for a flower that might not even exist in the world any longer. Maybe my part in it is over. I do not want to hurt the negotiations for Bori. I will remain here and guard the rear. I trust that Arkador and the others will be able to fulfill this mission. All right. Thank you. It feels good to have reason beyond revenge for this errand of ours. I still burned with a hatred for the orcs, but now I too desire to rescue the dwarves, whereas before it was only a vague purpose. We will do this now for Broin. So let's head up to the gates.
Do not do this, Korfagish! Set me free, I will trouble none of your kind.
You are passing that gate, Mazak, willingly or unwillingly. I wonder if his reluctance to join his friends. I do not. I think Mazak may find that he has few friends beyond these walls, and I think he knows it. It is time to go. All right. Oh, goody! 2 trolls!
What is this? Who dares to approach this fortress?
Only those with the courage that do, and an offer to make.
An offer? What are the terms of this offer?
They are not for your ears, gatekeeper.
All dealings come through me.
Siglet is fine. We come bearing the orc Mazog, trespasser into the kingdom of the dwarves. We seek to trade his life for the lives of the dwarves imprisoned within Dol Guldur.
I cannot speak to this. Wait here. You will answer to these trolls if you try anything suspicious.
And they are rather nemesis level ones with... yeah. So, yeah. We can't fight them. Well, here we are, Pinestone. Now we will see if this errand was not as foolhardy as first it seemed. I will have Kumath at the ready, in case we find our first belief justified. The gatekeeper returns.
This way, you lot.
I should have known this rabble was yours, Pinestone. Your offer does not interest me, Pinestone. What use do I, Gorthril, have of a useless orc such as Mazog, Lord of Caves?
He is lord of nothing.
The dwarves crawl all over his caves like worms on moldy bread. Bog would be ashamed of his son, and Azog would slay him for dishonoring his family line. But it would humor me to hold Mazog in the dungeons of this fortress until the world's ending, so he may have time to think about how he failed his master. I will accept your offer. Gorthril, man of Mordor. These dwarves go free, and I will accept custody of the orc called Mazog. None of these dwarves is Bori, Pinestone. I thought not. They are cruelly mistreated and seem close to death. Where is Bori? These terms are not acceptable, Gorthril. Where's the dwarf Bori? The dwarf called Bori is not part of this deal. I have offered you the lives of these three. I am receiving one prisoner. You are receiving three. You think this to be unfair? Consult with your associate Pinestone if you must. I do not like this Pinestone. We must make Gorthril turn Bori over to us in addition to these three dwarves, or we will have failed. What can we do? Not much apparently.
Perhaps you are right.
Perhaps the deal was rather uneven. Perhaps you're... Oops. You must show mercy. These two from Mazog, then? Very well, if you're certain. Come here, orc. My powers are vast, but I must confess something to you. I do not possess the authority to treat with you. I am not the master of this fortress. I am merely a guest. No, these are the masters, and I did not consult with them before making this deal. Therefore, we must rescind it. Archers! They just killed the dwarves. Can your sorcery match a dwarf's might? Ooh, well, that breaks the spell at least, and it looks like it is time to run away. Run away! Let's get out! Abandon quest. Oh, well. Lord Celeborn believed some of the Nazgul had come to Dol Guldur, but did not know for certain which of the 9 had done so. Now we do, though it is of little comfort to us. The lieutenant of Dol Guldur commands the others. He is second only to the Witch King, he who hailed from Angmar in the north. The lieutenant of the tower rules the fortress. It is he who struck down Akador. The gloom of Nirn has a wild man of the land. It is peopled now only by slaves of Mordor. He wields a war hammer in battle. I know nothing of the black blade save that he hailed once from Lebanon. He is fully a thrall now, as are all the Nazgul, though it was not always so. The Golden Host cannot think to stand against these 3. It is hopeless. You know you'll break a metatarsal doing that. Sigleth ignores you. Right. Okay. It is over, Pinestone. So many have died, and still Bori languishes within the dungeons of Dol Guldur. How can we hope to fight such evil? Well, first of all, overcome the thought that the most evil people in the universe, the ones who thrive on treachery and deceit, are going to make a fair deal. Akador gave his life so that we have time to escape. We must not forget him. It is no use. We have failed. Let's go inside Ostgaloth, though there is little we can do now.
The hidden guard has failed.
Akador is slain, Mazag is taken, and Bori remains in captivity. Sigleth is mooring with Isuriel inside Godagar. She is asked not to be disturbed.
The main arm of the Golden Host has camped at Thangulhad to the east.
Perhaps it was foolish to think that treating with the enemy was possible, but there was enough to gain that it seemed worth the attempt. It has now failed, but the forces of Dol Guldur will see the effect of betraying us beneath the flag of peace. The main arm of the Golden Host has camped at Thangulhad, a camp east of here, in Gothburs. Present yourself to Ninglorel there, and she will have something a rune-keeper such as you could do for the benefit of the Golden Host in the next stage of the campaign. A word of warning. Ninglorel is stern and not given to idle jest. Do not try her patience, or it will go ill for you. Alright, so next time though, before we head over to Thangulhad, let's take care of a little bit of unfinished business that we have here in Ostgaloth. And therefore we will go into the wild runes in the next episode of Pineleaf Plays The Rune-Keeper.